United with Christ. Meet local churches with open doors serving throughout the Border Valley community and sharing the truth and hope of God's love and salvation. A presentation by KSCE Channel 38 Christian Television. And now, United with Christ.
Great Thursday morning, El Paso, and wherever you may be in the world. My name is Pastor Eric Hallback, right here in El Paso, Texas, pastor of the Rock Faith Center, and just want to welcome you to United with Christ this morning. What a great privilege it is to be here in the studio with great friends and family, just to also extend to your living rooms or your workplaces or on your jobs this morning. And I just want to thank Life Christian Television as well for just welcoming me this morning. And I'm just super grateful because there's so much in life to be grateful for. We are in the third day of this great new year, 2019, man, the unseen, some things that we've never seen before, a day that we've never seen before and never will ever see again. And we are extremely grateful to be here today. You know, there's a lot more that I have to be thankful for because today as well, you know, the Rock Faith Center, I just want to give a personal shout out to my amazing congregation, my church family, partners, and friends from here in the city and around the world. Today we are celebrating our 9th year in ministry. The Rock turns 9 today. And I'm just super excited, got so much to thank God for. And here I am here just to share with you all as well, because just like 9 years ago, a little over 9 years ago, God gave us a vision to birth ministry here in our city that would not just impact this generation in our city alone, but also go globally. And I'm just super grateful for what God has done so far. And I'm just in tiptoe and great anticipation about what God has next for us as a church and as a community. And so again, welcome to United for Christ. I want to give a great shout out again to my family, my church, and all of those that support us here. And I'm just super grateful to share with you today. You know, when I look back over the years, you know, one of the things that I can always reflect on is how good God has been and how the connection with Him, staying connected with Him, has been so pivotal in the ministry and in life in general. You know, as a believer, you know, one of the things that we have to remain is united with Christ, because we can't do life by ourselves. You know, it's impossible. I don't care how great you are, how much education you may have, or how great you are in your career. You can't do life without being united with Christ, being one with Him, you know, consulting Him in everything that you do. And I pray that every day that you go through life, that you'll take seriously your commitment to God, that you'll walk rightly with Him, and you'll stay connected with Him. And so if I was to give you some nuggets of how, you know, I believe is what's the most important part of really, you know, staying connected, walking with the Lord, you know, staying diligent in your service to Him. You know, one of the first things I would like to share with you this morning is live to please God. You know, one of the things that is very difficult in life is to ignore some of the noisiness, you know, some of those negative things that may come in your life. And so I want you all to make a declaration this year, 2019, is to live to please God, to live to make sure that everything you do is pleasing unto God. Because I believe that when you please God, that you'll walk in the full purpose and the promises of God as well. And one of the things I wanted to share is that how do we live to please God? You know, the Bible talks about that when we live to please God, in order to do that, we have to live by faith. You know, one of the things that we hold on to every single day as believers is our faith, because we realize that without it, it's impossible to please God. You know, we don't do things in life to make others happy necessarily or to satisfy those around us, but in the end result of everything that we do in life, our result is to honor, to glorify, and to please God in all that we do. You know, I was reading the Word of God in Hebrews 11 and verse number 6, where it says, "And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe," listen to this, "that He exists and He rewards those who earnestly or diligently seek him. Knowing he exists will keep you what I like to call persistent. Sometimes people don't believe that God exists, and they don't believe that he is a God that sits high and looks low and is able to look beyond our faults and meet us exactly where we need him to meet us at. You have to believe that thing, because our faith says that we believe in the unseen, that we know that the invisible realm of life, it allows things that we see to come to pass. Our faith is what we hold on to every single day as it relates to our walk with God, so that he'll know that we are here, that he'll know that we exist in our faith as we do things in and through this world. And so as I look at that even closer, is that when we know he exists, it'll keep us persistent. That means that it'll keep us pursuing him, keep us walking after him every day. That means that when our feet hit the floor in the morning, we don't just wake up and wait for things to happen. We got the notion and the mindset that we're here to make things happen. I don't know about you, but every day my feet hit the floor, I want to make sure that God gets all the glory out of my life. And I pray the same for you every single day, that you have to pursue God. You have to not only pursue him, but you got to do it faithfully, persistently, without failing, even when times get rough. I know that maybe 2018 maybe didn't deal you the fairest of hands, but that does not still mean that God isn't great. He's still good. He's still on the throne. He's still making ways out of no ways. And I want to encourage someone today is to stay persistent with him. Never give up. Don't throw in a towel when things get difficult for you. When things get hard, go harder. When things get difficult, don't get down. Just lift yourself up and look towards the hills, because I promise you that there is indeed a brighter day ahead of you. And as I think about that every single day, persistence, it keeps us pleasing. When I want to give up, but I have the mindset of persistent, it'll keep me pleasing God. It'll keep me moving forward. And so I want to encourage someone today that as you are persistent with God, know that persistence leads to pleasing God. That's what our faith does. Our faith keeps us hoping in the impossible, knowing that the impossible will become possible in our life, no matter how difficult life begins. But I believe that when it ends with God, because he knows our end at our beginning anyway. And so I want to keep you understanding that he rewards us. And that's what I like that, because he says, that's why it says he rewards those who diligently or earnestly seek him. A lot of times in life, we can do something for an award, for someone to congratulate us or to give us that attaboy or that attagirl, or to hit us on the back, tap us on the back and tell us a good job, or maybe you're in the military and you tell that person when you do a good job, put it in writing or make an award out of it. But I believe that when we seek God earnestly, that means with every effort that we have. That means regardless of how we feel, no matter how difficult life becomes, we earnestly, that we don't just make attempts in life, we make continual efforts to please God. Every day, every moment, no matter if you're on your job, maybe people around you don't believe like you believe. Maybe those on your job or in your own family may not see things the way you see it, but that should not keep you from pursuing and earnestly seeking God. Because I believe that sometimes, man, in life, when you're the one moving forward, when you're the one who is earnestly seeking God, that even those around you who may not once believe or may not have seen God the way you see him, because of how he will reward your life, people around you will begin to say, man, wow, that can happen without something supernatural happening in that person's life. That's why I want to encourage you to keep on this year. Maybe 2018, man, this almost wore you out. Maybe gave you the opportunity at times to throw in the towel. But 2019, I've been declaring this over my church, over my friends, that this is the year that God will reveal the unseen in our life. Because every day, God is doing something new, and the Bible declares that look at it, he's already doing it. That means that moments after moments, every breath you take, every minute that passes is an opportunity for God to change something in your life. I've also been declaring, man, as it relates to persistence and earnestly seeking God, that no matter what has happened in your life, no matter what happened last year, last month, last couple of years in your life, I believe it does not compare to what God has happening right now. He's up to something. He's moving. That's why it's important to stay connected with him regardless of the situation, because when we earnestly seek him, the Bible does say that he rewards us. That means that nobody can stop it. No situation or circumstance can stop it. Maybe you're praying for a family member, maybe someone that you know that need a healing. Maybe they're going through cancer, or maybe they're going through depression, or maybe they're facing some financial situation. That's a God. When he rewards those things, when healing comes into their bodies, or when resources comes into people's lives, they should not think that they did something, that they know that that was a reward from God because of our diligence, because of our consistent and earnestly seeking God regardless of how we feel. I don't know about you, but some mornings when I get up, I may not feel the best. Maybe I don't feel like doing something or, moving forward, but I'm just reminded that, man, someone loved me so much that they gave everything for me. And so I can at least give my day, this moment. And as I begin to move forward and I begin to give God more, every moment I can feel myself becoming more energized. I can feel this power come upon me as well. And I know someone out there can testify to that as well. And if that is not the case for you, I want to make sure that you understand that it takes diligence. I mean, God want to know that we are with him, because he never leaves us nor forsake us. I believe at the same time he want to know that we're with him as well, that when times get difficult or when situations may not go the way we want them to go, that we're still sticking in there, that we got tenacity and stick-to-itness, that say regardless of what happens, God, I'm in this to win this. And I just pray for you all every single day, because when I understand this, when we do things to please God, we are also pushed further into purpose. Man, anybody want to be pushed into purpose today? I mean, sometimes, you may not like the push, but I believe that when you do things to please God, man, God has a way of pushing you into purpose. Man, that's exciting to know about our lives, that even when we want to give up, man, you can feel that jolt in your back. You can feel that, man, I can't give up attitude, because there's somebody rooting for you when everybody may be doubting you. Man, when you live to please God, he'll push you into purpose. He'll open up doors. Matter of fact, the Bible declared that, he'll open up a window of heaven. And I'm always excited about that, because there's always more windows in houses than doors. In other words, God has way more opportunities to bless you, regardless of what doors have been shut in your life. Man, there's windows still around where God has presented opportunities to bless you and your family's life. And so don't give up. Don't throw in the towel, man. This year, I want to push you forward. I want to be able to push people further into purpose, because I believe, my church is turning 9 years old, but I just believe that there's so much life ahead of us. What has happened? Hey, it was great. Some bad days, some good days, but I'm telling you, every day we spent with God, and so I can declare them all good. And so I want you to move forward in purpose and in life every day, pushing forward to please God, because some people don't enjoy being pushed. Some people don't like that pushing in life. They're okay with just mediocre. They sometimes people are okay with just the mundane and the normal. I want something supernatural to happen in my life this year, and I pray the same for you all. I pray that something that will happen in your life that will blow your mind. I pray that you're asking God for things that's bigger than your capacity, that you believe that every day that things that you're believing God to do. Maybe you need a family member restored. Maybe you need a relationship restored. Maybe you're looking for employment. Maybe there's a healing that you need in your body or someone that you know. I want to encourage you to keep pushing. Go forward, because some days we don't feel like moving on. Some days you don't feel like going forward. And anytime a person don't feel like being pushed, they'll end up complaining. And so I want to share with you, don't complain when things get complicated. Don't complain in life, because things are going to get complicated. But we got a God that will see us through it all. So don't complain about it. You know, one of the things I like to share with people that I meet all the time that may come and complain, I always ask, what is the solution? You know, I hear you complaining, but are there any confirmations or do you have any solutions to what you're complaining about? Because it's easy to complain when things don't go your way. So don't complain. Please don't complain when things get complicated, because things will get difficult, but God has made you an overcomer. God has allowed us to have Him in our lives that allow us to do all things. So you only could do some things yourself, but you can do all things with Christ. You know, wherever you're at right now, I want you to declare that over your life, that indeed, yeah, I can do some things myself, but I don't desire to do life alone. I want to do life every day with Christ so that all things will happen, all things will come to pass, all things that I'm praying for will happen. And that's amazing to have, you know, God as good as ours that guarantees that when He's with you, that when God is on your side, that things, not just some things, that all things will come to pass. That's why He could declare all things will work together for our good, that for my God shall supply all of our needs. Man, God is a God that does all things. And so there's no need to complain. I want you to start moving towards the claiming things. Claim that you're victorious. Claim that you're overcomer. Claim that no matter what weapon is formed against you, that you shall prosper. Claim that God is my refuge, my strength, a very present help. That's why you can declare, you can be persistent, because God is present in your life. No matter what it is, start claiming that I can do it regardless of how difficult it is. And I believe that when we claim things, it'll keep us from complaining, because complications usually comes by way of complaining. You know, a lot of times things become complicated in our lives because how we view it. You know, our negative perspective at times can cause things to become complicated that probably was easy if we just gave it our best shot. But sometimes when we're in that complaining mode, man, when we're in that place where we feel like everything is against us or things don't work out great for us at times, that complaining begin to come, and all of a sudden things become more complicated than we ever thought it would be. But also complaining will keep you complacent. It'll keep you from trying, because complaining leads to complication. And when things get complicated, we can get complacent. We just look back like, man, nobody would do this for me. Nobody will help me. There's nobody here for me, but God is always there. That's why you can't complain, because God is always with you. That's why you got to seek Him earnestly, diligently, regardless of the difficulty. That's why this is also important, especially going into this 2019 year. Man, there's so much in store for us. We're about 3 days in, literally 3 days in, and I'm telling you, I've already seen God move in some miraculous ways. And so I'm believing that same thing for your life today, that don't allow your complaining to cause things to be more complicated than they are in your life. Because what happens is that complaining, that complication leads you to sit back and don't want to even try again. You know, maybe you went into this year and you don't even want to give life a try because it's been just that difficult. Can I encourage you this morning to give God a chance? You know, submit your heart to Him. You know, don't allow the difficulties in your life to keep you from divinely walking in your purpose, because there's always so much more that does not even compare to what you've been through. You know, what you've been through does not even compare to what God is going to do. And so I just believe that every single day, because when you complain, you don't build, you begin to break. Man, I'm telling you, when you start complaining, you can't build others up. You begin to break even those around you down. You know, you ever met that person that every time you see them, they got something they're complaining about, it can break your spirits. It can tear you down at times. And that's why I'm telling you, this faith thing, pleasing God, earnestly walking with him, complaining, over things that should not be complained about, start claiming victory over your life. Why? Because when you complain, when you're concerned about everything around you, you don't build people, you begin to break others. And so I want to be a builder, not a breaker. You ought to say that in your spirit today. You want to be a builder and not a breaker. This year, we're going to build. We're going to go harder than we ever went before. We're going to make sure that complacency, complaining, all those things that are complicating in our lives, we'll turn those things over to God because we realize that he desires to make us greater. And so I want to encourage someone today, again, just to be a builder, not a breaker, because when you don't seek God, when your faith is faulty or when it feels like it's failing, man, you'll always find fault in everything. And so I want to make sure that every day in life that you see God, that no matter how much happens, live your life to please him. I share with people all the time, I don't have faith. People say, man, you're a man of God, you're a great man of faith. I don't receive those things as it relates to an accolade on myself. I believe that when God is magnified, when he is glorified, the people in life will be satisfied. At the same time, I live to please God. And at the end of the day, I don't have faith to make people impressed. I have faith so that God will be pleased, because that allows us to build. You can build while you broken. You can work while you wounded when you have faith in God. You can say things to others that you wish someone would say to you when you have faith in God. And I was reading this scripture in Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 29. It says, do not let unwholesome talk come out of your mouths. That's polluted talk. That's talk that doesn't uplift people. It says, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. What are people saying when they listen to you? Are you a builder or a breaker? Every time something happens in your life, do you choose to complain? When someone walks out on you, when someone betrays you, or when a situation goes different than when you expected, when your conversation happens, are you known as a builder? Is your talk wholesome? Does it holistically glorify who God is, regardless? One of the awesome things we have in the example of Jesus, that when he was on his way to Calvary, the Bible lets us know that he didn't say a word. He could have complained. I share all the time that he could have saved himself. He could have dropped the cross and saved himself. But he chose to keep on persistently pursuing the promises of God. When people are listening to you, are you one that people benefit from hearing you, hearing your words, no matter how difficult life is? I've learned this spiritual warfare that people talk about. You have to go in that thing smiling. You have to be able to go through life saying, man, I don't care how difficult it is. Whatever comes out of my mouth is geared to build others up. That's an awesome place to be, y'all. And I just want to encourage you in this new year to never, ever let anything that come up against you take away what God has already put in you. There's so much purpose in you this year, and I hope over the next few weeks that I can continue to encourage you as we come together, because I believe that purpose will be fulfilled in your life. 2019 will reveal the unseen things in your life, things that you've been believing God for. I'm believing visions and dreams. Maybe some of your dreams have become nightmares, but I'm just in agreement with you 100% that things that you have been believing God for will come to pass. Don't lose heart. Don't get faithless. Keep your faith strong regardless. And I've been sharing with my church, man, over this last few days, because this is the word I believe for the year, that no matter what has happened, it does not compare to what God has happening. Look at it from that perspective. I hope that encourages somebody, no matter what has happened. No matter what has taken place, it does not compare to what God has happening. God got some things happening in your life right now if you just continue to seek him. If you earnestly, persistently, without fault or failure, seek him, there's a reward waiting on you. Matter of fact, it's already arrived. We have a God that has on-time delivery, I believe, when we are in the right position. And so encourage someone this week, encourage someone this year that maybe you don't feel like it at times, but still let your mouth be one that uplifts. Let your spoken words be one that edifies the body of Christ. Maybe there's someone in your family or around you that needs to know this. And even though life get hard, even though things get difficult, I want to encourage you to continue to move forward, because I want to say one other thing about complaining. Complaining breaks the momentum of ministry. Complaining also disrupts the function of your faith. So don't let anything disrupt you or cause you to lose momentum. God is moving us as a body of believers so quickly forward, I mean, like never before. That's why I can declare this is the greatest year ever, because we never been here before. You know, the days ahead of you, you haven't had the opportunity to mess them up yet. So start thinking about them greater right now. They're ahead of you. So you have an opportunity today to say, my days ahead will be the best days ever. Why? Because you haven't gotten there yet. And you can start preparing yourself today, start allowing God to increase your faith, walk in faith every single day, so that no matter what takes place in your life, you'll have the tenacity, the fortitude to keep on pushing. Don't let anything disrupt your faith this year. You walk rightly with God. Make sure you stay faithful to ministry, because complaining will keep you from the momentum of ministry. You know, I meet people all the time when things don't go their way. You know, they start complaining and the enemy get them off course because of that moment. Don't let anything take you away from the momentum that God is trying to take you to. Keep pushing, keep pressing, keep walking in the will and the way of God for your life. And I pray that things will work out great for you. Let me pray with you before we go today. Father, I just thank you for this moment that we get a chance to share in this broadcast, United for Christ. And I know that us being united with you is the most important thing in our lives. And so, God, as we leave this moment, as we go about our day and pursue even greater calls for our life, I pray that we'll walk with you in faith every single day. Cause us to hold on to you, God. Even when we want to let loose, keep us, God, in the hollow of your hand. Walk with us daily. And we thank you in Jesus' name. I pray for you all. I thank you so much for watching us. I'm so grateful for Life Christian Television for giving us the opportunity to share with you all. Again, I want to just encourage you in 2019, expect the unseen to happen in your life. You haven't seen nothing yet. So expect greater, expect the best out of yourself and those around you. God bless you. Have an amazing day.